Oh, Maciek, you turned off your camera.
Yeah.
Anyway, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Async API community meeting, the one as usual on Tuesdays. Maciej, can you confirm we are streaming? Just to make
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, you mean?
I will check on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we are streaming.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask you another favor? Can you leave the screen open and see the chat if somebody's writing in the chat?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you. So anyway, before we start, because it's just me and Maciej on the call, we decided that we're gonna just use our native language. Tak więc dzisiejsze spotkanie jest po polsku. Dzięki wielkie, że nikt się nie pojawił. A jednak chyba przejdziemy na angielski, bo widzę, że w kolejce czeka Jessie Meaning. Tak więc przełączamy na angielski. Okay, I think Jesse is joining.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
we were just doing the meeting in Polish because we were the only Polish folks on the meeting. So.
Yeah, I think your English is probably going to be a lot better than my Polish, unfortunately. A sad state of affairs, but probably true.
I forgot to check how the live transcripts were working when I was speaking Polish. That's interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, thanks, Jesse. We're just starting. So there are a few items on the agenda that is not yet created, but there are topics that I usually give updates on. So first, the most important Async API mentorship program. The stage that we are at is that this week is the last week of voting of technical steering committee members to choose what ideas should be sponsored by Async API initiative. So that's the link for others to have a look, which means if it's the last week, it means that next week we will announce on Monday all the ideas that got selected that will get a sponsorship, and the work will start the next day or whatever, depends on the mentors and mentees of given issue, especially because they have to decide, mentor of a given idea have to decide who's working on a given issue. So that's where we are at the moment. So I saw some questions from people, if they can still join the mentorship program. Unfortunately, the deadline for volunteering as a mentee ended up 2 weeks ago. So yeah, you'll have to wait for another mentorship. Of course, there can still be a situation that some people that volunteered to be mentees, there might be, in theory, there might be an idea that was selected, but then in the end, none of the mentees will still be interested on working on it. So yeah, but I doubt it really. But yeah, in theory. So that's if it comes to the mentorship. The other topic is Google Season of Docs. Last time I told you that the selection process ended. We started working with folks. There are just 2 mentors. It's Alejandra and me. And yeah, we already started working with folks, onboarding them on Async API. So yeah, looks like in a few months, we're gonna have really nice enriched documentation, not just for Async API in general, but also the Async API generator. So yeah, stay tuned for that topic. And last but not least, Async API conference. So we hosted for the first time a dedicated meeting for the conference last week. I'm going to share you a link to the recording. We had a guest. It was Emily from Linux Foundation that will help us organize the event. We got a list of possible locations, but we determined a possible dates. It's all listed in related issue, and most important status. So three, like one thing, I opened a discussion, like a to-do list discussion, with all the things that we need to handle. And the idea is that it's like a project management list. So there will be, and there's an item, there's a person that coordinates, and some description. And the idea for Async API dedicated, like Async API conference dedicated meeting, is that we will just focus on the conference, and people that are just interested with this concept, with this topic, will join the meeting. We're gonna do, like in project management, every time we have a meeting, check the status, see where we are at, and the huge request to you folks in the community, whoever would like to join as coordinator of some topics, yeah, feel invited. There's a lot of work to do. So that's if it comes to the to-do list for the conference. And the current status is Emily today, I think today or tomorrow, she will start working on the form for CFP. So call for proposals will open as soon as she managed to do it, and we're for sure communicated on our channels. And so it basically, I hope it's this week, and we can already start contacting people that could submit their proposals to speak at the conference. And also there's already a PR opened to create a brand new conference website for 2022. But now it's like, it sounds like it's a huge website, but it's actually super simple website with just a heading and a form. So basically the idea is that it's not me or someone else deciding if we host conference in Valencia or we do it in Casablanca in Morocco. The idea is that it's community decision, because in the end we want to choose the location where we know the people will come the most. So the website that we will release, again, like if not today, then tomorrow. The idea for that website for now is that it has a embedded form. So we want to share this website already with as many people as possible, and get feedback from people, like if they plan to come to the conference in person, when would they prefer to come, and where. And they will be asked to provide email for further newsletter about the conference. But yeah, again, we're going to communicate it. So huge request to all to share it with as many people as possible, to get as much input as possible from people about the conference. So yeah, these are the 3 topics. That's where we are at the moment. Any questions to these topics, or do you have something else you'd like to talk about? Because from my side, that's it. Am I audible? Like, could you hear me?
You're audible. I'm just stunned by your brilliance, man.
You're stunned by what?
Your brilliance.
Thank you. By the way, I'm greetings. As you can see, it's a totally different location where I'm calling in from. So tomorrow, if you're somewhere around Poland and Krakow, so tomorrow we can have a lunch in Krakow, because here's a conference called SOAP, but it has nothing to do with SOAP protocol. And it's about the content, and I'm doing actually the Async API workshop tomorrow. So feel invited if you want to. Okay, Maciej, can you see, are there any questions in the chat?
Yeah, on YouTube only from the Sovik.
Oh,
He asked us about, are you traveling? so
yeah,
you exactly answer.
I'm now. I did travel. I took train to Krakow, because for me it's just 2 hours by train. And yeah, and that's it. I'm already in the hotel. By the way, do you have different, not answering API question? Is Children's Day that we have tomorrow in Poland, is it international? Do you also have Children's Day tomorrow in your country?
Every day is Children's Day in the United States, as far as I'm concerned. They don't need an extra day, man. They're good.
Okay, so that's what I will tell my kids to explain why I'm not there tomorrow.
I like it.
Oh, it's 14th of November in India. Interesting. So it depends really on the country then. Okay, so are we making it the shortest community meeting? No other topics from you folks? No questions about Async API in general?
Yeah, I'm kind of new here, so I'd like to know, where can I start? Do you have any advice?
Yeah, it depends. So welcome, Alberto.
Thank you.
Depends what you want to do. Like, do you want to learn Async API? Do you want to contribute to Async API? What's your goal?
Yeah,
like?
I'd like to start learning it, and then we'll see. Yeah.
So the best like resources, I would say, like, of course, our website with our docs. And there's a lot of good content in the blog, because we have many guests writing in our blog. Many different topics are covered, like Jesse wrote a great article about that explains difference between Async API and Open API. So question that many people ask. And there's a set of articles that I wrote about Async API and WebSocket. So there's a lot of content in the blog that was not yet converted into docs. Definitely, I recommend our YouTube channel, because last year and 2 years ago, we already had an Async API conference. There's a lot of like many recordings of people that use Async API. And we also had a contributor summit last year. So there are also recordings from the contributor summit that explain how to contribute. And I would send a link. So there's also, is some work about around training materials. There are some pull requests opened for the scripts that we have for the videos, for the training. So you can definitely, like, they're almost almost accepted. There's some minor changes that need to be done, but you can already have a look on those scripts, because they're like super basic ones, like intro to event-driven architectures, intro to Async API and the community. So a lot of good content there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So yeah, definitely. And then, like, are you on our Slack already?
No, I am not.
Okay, so
Okay.
so definitely join, like on our asyncAPI.com website, you're going to find the link to join Slack.
Perfect.
There's a lot of folks there active, open to help. I haven't seen I think 99% of questions are answered always by the community. So definitely a good place to be.
That's great. Thanks.
Yeah. And yeah, last but not least, we do these meetings regularly, so you can also join if you prefer this way of communicating.
Great.
And I see a question from Akshat about the so there's a question about the mentorship. So yeah, I was talking about the mentorship at the beginning, so you could miss it. So in the if it comes to the timeline, it was published in the in this official discussion that we had about the mentorship program, and the timeline assumes that this is the last week when technical steering committee can provide votes to decide which ideas should be sponsored by asyncAPI. In the chat, I think it's the first link that I shared, or the third one. There's a link to the voting discussion where our TSC members share votes on different ideas. And the plan is, oh, and thanks Akshat for sharing the Slack link. So on Monday, I will summarize all the numbers from the voting, and we will know which ideas got selected. We'll communicate it, and then it's up to the mentor to decide which mentee will work on a given issue. So it's as distributed as possible, this decision process, because in the end it's a lot of mentor time that has to be dedicated to the mentee. So it should be a mentor deciding who's working on a given issue. No worries. Okay. Any other questions, topics? Yeah, and going back to a question from Alberto. So as I mentioned, tomorrow I'm doing a workshop at a conference, and it's I'm a fan of doing everything in open. So also the workshop script, everything will end up on GitHub. And
fantastic.
Yeah, and I think the content is pretty good. Not just because I wrote it, but I think I managed to put a lot of useful links, useful information in the workshop. And even though, of course, it's not the same as if it would be like looking at the script and listening to me explaining it at the workshop, but I think even the script itself is already a good starter. Even though it's focused on topic like documenting event-driven architectures, but still, I think there's a lot of content. So yeah, and just ping me in a few days. Once I'm done with the conference, I can share the link.
Great. Okay. Yeah, already following you in LinkedIn. I don't know what's the best way to contact you.
I'm going to share there a link for sure as well.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Okay, Maciej, any other questions there in the chat?
No. Any.
Okay, cool. So last 3 moments to ask the question, because next meeting is again in 2 weeks. So 3, 2, 1. Why only 3 moments? I don't know, like Actually, I always like rounding numbers, like 5 and 10. Not good. I don't have any good explanation. So I like to count down 1 to 3. That's it. Thank you for letting me leave it. So yeah, again, thanks for joining, folks. And yeah, see you in 2 weeks on community meeting, or maybe next week on our conference related meeting or other meetings, or in Slack or Twitter or LinkedIn.
Okay, thank you, Lucas. Good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.